So, right, so the question was, are you, this, again, reincarnation is very fascinating, it's a totally different discussion, but I've had this discussion, and I'm okay with doing it for sure, but I've had this discussion with people who were at my table for Shabbat, and people who were like, from India, and like, yeah, oh, reincarnation is one thing, and it became very clear after like a very short time that there's many, many, many differences from our perspective and the other perspective. So the first thing is, again, when a person, part of being a human being, humanness means that you have a vessel of a human being that will contain a human soul. A cow cannot hold a human soul because the brain doesn't have the ability to hold our intellectual capacity, our ability for compassion, kindness, whatever you want to call it. All of these things, an animal is a lower, dulled level. So you can't put, it's kind of like frying. Like you can't take something that's higher. A perfect example, we're dealing with something, you have a piece of equipment, right? If it's 110 volts, and it's not adaptable to 220, and you plug it into 220, what happens? It's fried, it's gone, it's too much to take in. So the reason is it's the same thing with reincarnation. You can't put in too much light, spirituality, whatever, in vessels that don't contain it. It's impossible. So he says, when you talk about a person being an animal, it's just a prison, it's a sentence. When a person acted like an animal, he has to like start all over. It's like, what happened to your voice? What happened to your humanness? So sometimes he's got to start all over. He's got this like whole long way. Yeah, there's a process. You go start with the rock. It's like, yeah, I'm in this rock. I can't, like, I have time to think. I have time to like consider. It's very, very not simple. Like, just think about it. Hello, where were you? What were you doing? Where were you holding? It's another point, another very important axiom of reincarnation, is that when we come into this world, we say, you know, let's say I was speaking to someone who's abused, right? The person was very abused, very upset. Why were they abused? It was so difficult for me. And they don't realize, as time points out, it's very clear in the deeper works that like, before they came here, they're like, the only way they can fulfill their mission is by being broken in a particular way. So they're like, please let me come back this way so I won't mess it up. I won't be so arrogant. I won't have this. Whatever their particular personal thing is. And sometimes it's not because they messed up. Sometimes, rarely, but it is true, it can happen, that some other soul on their network, shall we say, because there are many soul networks, that people are connected and other people do other things, blew it, and they can't, you have only 3 chances to improve with reincarnation. When you come back as a person, if you're not moving forward, you can't come back again. You've got 3 times. We learned it from the first. So it's like, when they blew it, you might have the ability, or I might have the ability to come and take up their shoes, but I have to fix what they messed up. And that means being in a certain way in their situation. So I might not have done anything, but I must say, yeah, I'll take this on. I'll be the commander. I'll do it. And it's like, you were willing or asking, oh, give me this. I want to do this. I'll get his portion. What he could have generated, gotten eaten, or points, or whatever he was going to do, I'll do that. I'll take it on. And then you come here and you're like, what am I doing? What is this? This is not fair. What does fair have to do with it? You're fixing stuff. And we do not understand. Like, I'm not saying, oh, therefore everything's understandable. This is what it means, but we don't understand this particular exact details of every person's life. You don't really understand what they went through and what it's about. Even more than that, Rav Moshe Valley points out, and it's so true, I saw this myself, as involved in a situation, it does not help. He's like, why didn't you remember your past? You know your purpose. So he's like, it will not help you at all. Because when you don't remember your past, you have the ability to say, you blew it, let's say. You come up to heaven and you're like, well, I didn't know. You had something, I didn't know. But if you knew, you'd be very culpable. It's like, that is an indictment. You knew. Why did you do it? And knowing does not in any way help you do what you need to do. It just doesn't. At all. Because you have the same things holding you back. He's like, yeah, but I have this stuff because that's the way you have to overcome the challenge. It takes time, it's a lot of patience. So it's not so simple. So now, in terms of going to the grave of Tzadik, getting back to the same point, it's like when you take this spark from this person who overcame his base nature, it helps you also like get where you need to go and do what you need to do. It's like getting a kind of a recharge. Getting assistance, right? Not for nothing. They say incredible things. They say that enables what makes spiritual growth possible for someone who's in the next world. They have whatever dividends, whatever you want to say, the spiritual stuff they have that they're doing here and did here. What makes it possible? Well, people might be learning their works. That does it. So, but the best way is to someone who gets a spark from this tzaddik, and he helps somebody who has a choice choose the right thing. Not because the person loses their free choice, but because they chose to come to this place and say, I want to spark at the soul. I want to go in this way. That's the best thing for the tzaddik too. And that's the best thing for us too. It enables and helps us and empowers us to find a real self, to really connect to who am I really? What am I really about? Because very often the world just does, it says, fools us. We don't even notice. We don't have time to think. Mr. Hashem says it also. This is the power of Pharaoh says, give them work. They're lazy. Let them work. Let them work. He says, let them not think. Don't pray. Don't do anything. Just work. You need to work more. Work until you drop. Drop. Get up. Work. No. So you have to realize I have a purpose. I have a mission here. What do I need to do? How do I need to do it? That's the bottom line of things. And really, the truth is, one of the biggest things that every person has to learn is to become more human and become more patient. When I see, as it says, as the Kelm and Kelm, they were very into this idea, which is that when I see that I need to work an awful lot on my character traits that are negative and my problems, I have to, at the very least, learn how to tolerate my friends' weaknesses, which might not be my own. I just say, well, I have also weaknesses, so I have to say, okay, I can tolerate your weaknesses too. I can't say, well, hey, how could he have such a temper? Yeah, but he gets up at 5 a.m. every day and spends, he's like, I'm fire. And you're like, kind of, yeah, whatever. You're very relaxed, but you're so relaxed, you don't do anything. But you have to, last second, what's your deal? So everyone has their pluses and their minuses. That's part of a big picture. And we have to figure out who we are, where we are. And very often people don't even know, they don't know who they are. The Rav Tzaddik go, he said, imagine you go into a big city, and in this city there's 100 blacksmiths. You walk into the city, I'm looking for Jack the blacksmith. I'm like, well, there's 20 of them. Do you know where he lives? No. Do you know what he's like? No. You know anything about him? No. So you never know, find him. If you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know. That's the same thing in person. If you don't know yourself, you're never going to figure yourself out. It's very, very hard to get this self-knowledge. Again, the author of Kever in his beautiful way, he says, imagine you're checking somebody out, for a prospective match or for a business or for something. So you talk to someone who's their roommate. You're like, so you know this guy very well. It's like, yeah, I know him very well. How long are you living together? Oh, 10 years, 15 years. So how long do you spend with him a day? All day. Study partners, whatever. A lot of the day, whatever. All day. Yeah. Okay, what's he like? Is he very angry? Is he nice? And he's like, well, I really don't know so well. You're like, what? Well, how can you not know so well? You spend all day with him for 10 years. It's impossible. You must know him inside out, upside down. So he said, but that's every person. We all live with ourselves, but we don't have so much self-knowledge. Self-knowledge, if it's real, if we understand the stakes and what we're really doing, and where we're really going, so then self-knowledge means that we're going to change. When I know that something I do is poisonous and is bad and negative, I'm going to change that. When I don't feel it, I'm disconnected from it. It's not, again, not das tachton. It's not the understanding that's really in the person and absorbed and real. When I know I'm not going to put my hand in the fire because you get burned, that's like this aspect of das tachton. When I know that what it means to be humiliated, let's say, and I'm working very hard not to embarrass somebody else. So it's like when I really feel that, it's a totally different level. And so it's like, yeah, one time he does, one time he doesn't. He knows, he doesn't know. It's a different situation. So again, this aspect of reincarnation has a lot to do with connecting to Tzadikim, because we really don't want to be back here in this way. We want to be in a place where we're able to do the entire mission now. We don't want to have to come back again and again and again and again. Like, what's the point? I'm here for a mission. Do the mission. Finish it till the end, because God doesn't let any spark go. No spark. God does not leave anyone behind. Any positive has to be uplifted and brought to where it has to be brought. So we all need to come together and and this is also part of this whole idea of the pirud, hatred. It's why hatred is such a tool of the other side. It's the worst thing. Machlokas we see about fighting and strife is the worst thing, because it disables a person completely from staying focused on his purpose. What am I here for? What am I here for? No, he did it. What are you talking about? Come on, give me a break. It's like totally that's the be basics of the Kivrei Tzadikim like we saw, and I hope God will help. We'll really transform ourselves and change ourselves the way we should. Any other questions?